What's up? Today I'm talking about why I will never work for a woman. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that notification button because I'm dropping a video every day. All right. Why I will never work for a woman. I am in the corporate sector. I've had a marketing career for over 18 years. I've worked for a lot of different companies, and I actually had 3 female bosses. So there's been a pattern that I've noticed. I know 3 isn't a big pool to gather my opinions on, but I don't care. I'm doing this video because they all had these 3 things in common, and I'm like, oh hell, I will not work for a female boss. And by the way, just very quickly, I really suggest you guys, sometimes you can't avoid it, but I suggest when you're interviewing for a job, you ask, who am I going to be reporting to? Because I'd like to take a look at their LinkedIn. Sure, fair enough. So I do that all the time and have done it since my experience. And if it's a woman, I bounce. And here's why. So basically, at the end of the day, women, one thing specifically that they do that's a big difference between men is they focus on the little things and not the big things. Yes, little things can become big things, like David the android said in Prometheus when he had the little alien thing, cell or whatever, and he dropped it into some water, and then the guy turned into some alien, whatever. So yes, little things become big things. But here are a few examples of what I mean. So example number 1 is, and I'm dealing with this now, she's not my boss, but she's in the company, has a lot of authority. So I'm spending $300,000 on an event, and every year that's the budget. Well, there's a $10,000 part of the budget. She's not my boss, but she's in accounting. There's a $10,000 part of my budget, and she's grilling me on, what kind of return are we going to get from that? How is that going to, how many leads are we going to get? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, for 10,000? Who fucking cares? Why are you asking me about the 300,000? Right? So that's one example. It's like, they'll pick this one thing that is insignificant. So one example. Second example is, I remember I did this event at Harvard Club, Harvard University in Boston, the main Harvard, right? And I did 2 events. So this one time, and I had this boss for a short period of time, we ran out of stickers for the name badges, right? So we had, I don't know, 150 people at this event, and we ran out of the proper name badge stickers. So it was kind of a last minute thing, and I'm like, oh shit, we need something. And so I got a marker and like name badge things. We had to write the names in like with a pen. The event was so successful. It was awesome. Like we had the agenda down, we had the presentations, I got sponsors. It was awesome. Like we had banners everywhere. It was fucking awesome. It was like a career highlight for me. And she's on my ass about these fucking stickers. It's like, I think you should remember next time, in a tone, right? This kind of arrogant, condescending tone. I think you should remember next time to get more Avery packs instead of having to write and, print it all. Like she was on my ass about the fucking stickers. And I'm like, bitch. Right? I'm like, what the fuck? We spent a lot of money on this event. Everyone was happy. CEO was there. Like, it was awesome. And she's on my ass about the fucking stickers. So last example is, I remember I did this 30-page presentation for my boss at the time, woman, and she was in sales. And I put fucking hours into this thing, hours. And it was gorgeous presentation. It looked awesome. There was a typo on one of the slides, and she wouldn't let me down about that damn typo. And I'm like, fuck again. I'm like, you fucking bitch. Like, why are you focusing on the little thing? The whole thing is awesome. I made that one little mistake. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, okay, I understand that women have had to overcome a lot to get to a senior role. They're surrounded by men. But this has been my experience, all right? That they expect perfection in everything. They make things overly complicated. They're extremely masculine. They allow gossip in the workplace. They don't return favors, right? Like typically somebody does something for you and it's another man. You always think, okay, I'm going to help that person back next time. And they will reward the popularity in the workplace more than reward based on merit, right? Like I've never cared how damn popular I am amongst my colleagues. What I care about is merit. Am I scoring touchdowns? Am I getting first downs? Am I getting yards? Like, am I getting sacks? To use football analogies, right? Right? That's all that should matter, really. Like at the end of the day, that's what we're accountable for. Yes, you have to play nice, but that's secondary. You can play nice and be the nicest person, but if you're useless, you're not scoring touchdowns, you're not getting yards, you're not getting sacks. You know what I mean? But women they see things differently. They will reward based on your popularity and how well you get along with others and give you a lot more slack than lack of merit. And I hate that. I'm like, if someone's useless, like they're gone. Like I will fire that person. Like they have to perform. And I know that person might have a lot going on in their personal life, but if they're not keeping up with their performance, they're gone. Like sports teams do it all the time. So why shouldn't employers do it? That's my philosophy. So here's the thing, man, is that like the female bosses are not as chill as men are. Men prioritize, they will look at the big things. Number one, they have a lot more empathy than women. By the way, if there's ever a hijacking situation and the main hijacker is a woman, you're pretty much toast. They're the most dangerous. So just in general, women don't have the same empathy. And I did a video on this of why empathy is a weakness. So also men will reward based on merit. They see it. They'll go, okay, right, the guy's not the nicest guy out there. He doesn't play the nicest, but we'll reward him. For example, my current employer just hired this person. And he used to work for the company before. They rehired him. I only met him very briefly because he's only been on the job a couple of weeks. So somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, have you met this person before?" Let's say his name's Jake. And I said, no, not really. And then the guy says, "Oh, well, a lot of people have said he's not very social and he's actually not very nice to work with." And so my takeaway was, okay, but he's probably really fucking good at what he does, because otherwise, why would the company hire him back? So I don't really care how nice a person is in the workplace and how much they get along with others. Like, as long as they are a top performer, they show up, they get the job done, they help me if I need them, but I don't need to have friends at work or outside of work. So men understand that very well, right? It's all about merit. The other thing is, and this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with, guys, is that men have your back. I have had a lot of amazing bosses, men, and one of the things that I've learned, unlike the women bosses, is if I fuck up, they will pull me to the side, mention something, or they'll say, "Hey, this other person said this, just wanted this FYI, maybe you should look into that thing." So men will have your back, and that's why I will not work for a woman boss, or I will avoid it the most I can It's different if it's a client. If she's a client of mine, sure, if for business purposes, but not employment purposes. So listen, man, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments on what specifically I want to know your experience with working with women bosses and what that's been like. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.